Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of Times Square. Towering digital billboards light up the night. Yellow taxis race past you. Thousands of people rush in every direction. The city never sleeps. It never slows down. Now, close your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Everything disappears. The glowing skyscrapers vanish. The traffic fades into silence. The sidewalks crumble into damp earth beneath your feet. The smell of gasoline is replaced by the scent of pine, oak, and wet leaves. Somewhere in the distance, a hawk cries through the forest. Something large moves inside the trees. Welcome to Manhattan. The year is 1000 AD. And if someone told you this was the same island that would one day become New York City, you'd probably laugh. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, looks familiar. But here's the first secret. 1000 years ago, this place wasn't called New York. It wasn't even called Manhattan. To the people who lived here, it was known as Manahatta, a name from the Lenape language, often translated as the Island of Many Hills. And that's exactly what it was. Today's Manhattan feels almost flat. But back then, it was a rugged island filled with rolling hills, rocky ridges, freshwater streams, marshes, and forests so dense that sunlight barely reached the ground. Over the centuries, humans literally reshaped the island. Hills were cut down. Wetlands were filled. Shorelines were pushed farther into the rivers. The Manhattan we know today is, in many ways, an engineered landscape. But in 1000 AD, nature was still in complete control. Now imagine taking your first step into that ancient forest. Massive oak trees tower more than 100 feet above you. Chestnut and hickory trees stretch in every direction. The air is cool. The ground is soft with centuries of fallen leaves. Every sound feels louder. Every shadow feels alive. Then, you hear branches snap. You freeze. Two glowing eyes stare back from the darkness. It isn't a dog. It isn't a wolf. It could be a black bear. Or even a cougar. Yes, mountain lions once roamed Manhattan. Black bears lived here. White-tailed deer wandered through these forests. Beavers built dams and quiet streams. Wild turkeys scratched through the leaves. The island wasn't built for humans. Humans simply shared it with everything else. And that's something modern Manhattan has almost completely forgotten. But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. This wilderness wasn't empty. People had already been living here for thousands of years. If you continue walking toward the edge of a river, you'll notice something unexpected. A thin ribbon of smoke rising into the sky. As you get closer, you begin to hear voices. Children laughing. Wood crackling in a fire. Paddles gently tapping against water. You've just arrived at a Lenape village. These weren't giant cities surrounded by walls. They were carefully planned communities that lived in balance with the land around them. Long wooden houses stood together near rivers and forests. Families grew corn, beans, and squash, often called the Three Sisters because the crops supported one another as they grew. Fishing was a daily routine. Hunting followed the seasons. Nothing was wasted. Not the meat, not the bones, not the hides. Everything had a purpose. And perhaps the biggest difference between their world and ours was the way they viewed nature. To the Lenape, the land wasn't something you owned. It wasn't something you conquered. It wasn't real estate. The forests, rivers, animals, and seasons were part of one living system. Humans were simply another part of it. Now compare that to today's Manhattan, an island where nearly every square foot has a price tag. It's hard to imagine these two worlds existing in the exact same place. But they did. Now let's travel farther south, toward the area we know today as Wall Street. Today, this tiny stretch of land moves trillions of dollars through global financial markets. People come here chasing fortunes. Companies rise and collapse based on decisions made inside nearby buildings. But in 1000 AD, there wasn't a single bank, no stock exchange, no office towers, no roads, only grassy clearings, ancient trees, and narrow footpaths worn into the earth by generations of Lenape travelers. The loudest sound wasn't a trading bell. It was the wind moving through the forest. And here's something even harder to imagine. The place where thousands of business professionals now hurry to work every morning was once a path quietly crossed by deer, by black bears, by foxes. Nature didn't rush. It simply existed. But wait, there's another question almost nobody asks. If Times Square was a forest, if Wall Street was wilderness, then what stood where the Statue of Liberty now watches over New York Harbor? We'll travel there next. And what you'll discover completely changes the way you see one of America's most famous landmarks. Now, let's continue our journey. Walk with me toward the edge of the island, Today, ferries crisscross these waters every few minutes. Cargo ships glide across New York Harbor. Helicopters buzz overhead. And rising proudly from Liberty Island stands one of the most recognizable monuments on Earth, the Statue of Liberty. But open the door to the year 1000 AD, and everything changes. There is no statue, no harbor packed with ships, no skyline stretching into the clouds. Only a small natural island surrounded by shimmering water. Seabirds circle overhead. Fish leap beneath the surface. The tides roll in and out exactly as they have for thousands of years. Standing here, it's almost impossible to imagine that one day millions of immigrants would sail past this very spot, seeing America for the first time. To the people living here in 1000 AD, this wasn't the gateway to a nation. It was simply another piece of a living coastline. Now look across the water. The harbor feels almost untouched. Wooden canoes drift quietly between islands. The Lenape travel these waterways with remarkable skill, using rivers and tidal currents as natural highways. There are no engines, no smoke, no steel. Only wood, water, wind, and human hands. Everything moves with nature, not against it. But here's something most people never realize. The New York harbor you see today isn't exactly the harbor that existed 1,000 years ago. Over centuries, people dredged channels, expanded shorelines, filled wetlands, and reshaped coastlines to build one of the busiest ports on Earth. Even the island beneath your feet has changed. Much of modern Manhattan no longer reflects its original landscape. Nature didn't disappear overnight. It was slowly redesigned, stone by stone, hill by hill, river by river. And that's what makes this place so extraordinary. You're not just looking at a city. You're looking at one of humanity's greatest engineering projects. But now, let's wait until night falls, because this may be the biggest difference of all. Modern New York is famous for its lights. From space, the city glows like a constellation on Earth. Millions of windows, thousands of street lights, billboards brighter than daylight. But in 1000 AD, darkness truly meant darkness. As the sun disappears beyond the horizon, the forest grows quiet. Crickets begin their nightly chorus. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls through the trees. The fire inside a Lenape village flickers gently. Above you, the Milky Way stretches across the entire sky. Not faint, not hidden, but dazzling. Thousands upon thousands of stars fill the heavens. A night sky almost impossible for modern city dwellers to imagine. No light pollution, no neon glow, only the universe, exactly as our ancestors saw it. Take one last look around. Every sound, every tree, every stream, every hill, everything feels timeless. But history is already moving. Within the next several centuries, European explorers will begin arriving along these coasts. Trade routes will expand. New settlements will appear. The forests will slowly retreat. The hills will be carved away. The rivers will be redirected. And the island called Manahatta will eventually become New Amsterdam, before finally becoming New York, one of the most powerful and influential cities the world has ever known. Yet beneath every sidewalk, beneath every subway tunnel, beneath every glass skyscraper, the ancient island still exists, hidden beneath layers of stone, steel, and concrete. Its streams may be buried, its forests may be gone, its wildlife may have vanished, but its story remains. And perhaps that's the greatest secret of New York. This city didn't begin with skyscrapers. It didn't begin with Wall Street. It didn't begin with the Statue of Liberty. Its story began with forests so dense they swallowed the sunlight, with rivers that flowed untouched to the sea, with black bears roaming the hills, and with the Lenape people who understood something the modern world often forgets, that we don't own the land. For a brief moment in history, we simply borrow it. So the next time you see the New York skyline, or watch the lights of Times Square flashing across a screen, close your eyes for just a second. Imagine replacing every skyscraper with towering oak trees, every traffic jam with a herd of deer, every subway tunnel with flowing streams. Because beneath the world's greatest city, an older world is still waiting to be remembered. And maybe, just maybe, the real New York was never built from concrete. It was born from the wilderness.